Hey everyone, welcome back to the Gung-Ho Book Club, a fair college travel podcast featuring the thoughts of online randos on books written by people who've done far more for universal literature than we can possibly hope to. Some of them, anyway. My name is Costin Becchiano, but you can call me Kazi, and I'm to blame for most of the stuff happening on this blog, for better or worse. With me today, as always, is my longtime friend and self-avowed sword and sorcery scholar, Cowboy Cam Wooten.
Howdy, howdy.
Fair warning, we're adults who like to hang out and use adult language together. We're here to read books and talk shit. And we're just done reading Volume 12 of the Swords and Sorceries anthology line, for which we asked for and received an ARC, and which is going to be published May 1st, 2026 by Parallel Universe Publications. Copious amounts of nonsense and spoilers follow. Now, this little book clocks in at over 300 pages. Cover and interior art is by Jim Pitts. It features a lengthy intro by editor David A. Riley, and no less than 11 different tales with what Cam and I have come to agree is perhaps a couple unintentionally reoccurring subjects, which are memory loss and magic swords, sometimes at the same time.
But not always.
Not always, no. Something that I thought of as I was going through the intro again before we did this is I'm never going to remember all of the stuff in there when I'm reading the actual stories. And I was curious to flip back to each author's details to learn more of the stuff that they did and whatnot. And doing that would be slightly awkward if we're talking about a physical copy of the book. It's not as bad with an EPUB where you can just search and go back to the table of contents and stuff. But it's still something that came up as I was flipping back and forth through this one in my reading app. And just before we get into the whole play-by-play of the names of note, or at least stuff I come across before, I'd like to mention Phil Emery, who's featured in Jason M. Walt's edited Neither Beg Nor Yield, which keeps popping up on here because it's a giant-ass anthology and everyone's in it. Phil spins a great, dark, macabre, atmospheric yarn, which he does again here. And there's also a veteran of the genre, Adrian Cole.
Yes.
Who's written so much stuff over the years, it would take an entire episode's runtime to simply list half of it.
Yeah, and he's got hundreds and hundreds of short stories.
Yeah, and I'm reading his A Place Among the Fallen novel currently. And by reading, I mean it's in my currently reading category in the app, buried beneath 24 sword and sorcery anthologies and zines. But I'm getting to it. He's a really versatile author from what I've seen and read. But I feel like the story he has in here is what he does best, which is put together a tense, heroic tale with a little ambiguity. Also managing to hint at or feature the sea in there somewhere. Which is something that Adrian Cole keeps plopping into, it seems, at least half the tales he's written. At least what I've read.
He likes the ocean. Yes,
and he does a great job of presenting it and making it seem interesting and imposing and dangerous and, fun.
Unlike a certain other author's Southern Sea.
No, please. It is not simply the Southern Sea.
I can't pronounce it.
It's Yashing Zeb Chun, the Southern Sea. Also, I think that's a record for the shortest time from beginning to Thongor reference that we've had. We're not past the intro.
To be fair, I had another Thongor reference in mind too. Of Thongor should have been included in this anthology with the amount of brain damage and memory loss that's in this. So, and magic swords.
That too, yeah. Oh, that's great. Going straight into it. The first story is by Henry Hellbog. It is called Wallmaster to the Late Emperor, and it is a pseudo-historical tale with a bit of sorcery thrown in, taking place at Hadrian's Wall, where the best laid plans of wizards and men often go awry. It features a wizard by the name of Pyranus Owen Vortrix, and I only know how to read Eogan because I've seen the SAS series on HBO recently. That's where I saw Eogan, which is
Eowyn?
Which is Owen.
Owen?
Yeah.
Sure.
I think so. I think it is.
Huh.
Irish stuff. And the wizard has a servant, which is a dwarf, who's called Peregrine. And the wizard can hardly stand Peregrine, which is why I was hoping for a Gandalf and Pippin buddy cop show, because we can't get worse than Rings of Power.
No, it's impossible.
I'm told. I haven't watched it, never will. But
Yeah, watch the first episode. Don't watch it.
fair,
Nope.
fair. Right. So a bunch of stuff happens in this one in terms of the wizard is responsible for protecting the wall against invaders. He obviously employs his wizarding powers and knowledge to this goal. There's a bit of backstabbing and infighting, a bit of necromancy, a bit of shirking from one's responsibilities or consequences, I guess. The best thing about this tale was the dwarf,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
The interplay between the master and the dwarf is very good. They have lots of back and forth moments, and I like the historical nature of it. It's like, oh, the Romans left, and they're doing their thing in the south, but we're the Carvatians, I think they are, which are Roman-like. Some of them are like half Roman. Some of them were trained by Romans. They're basically a Roman colony that's cut off from the rest of the empire, and allegedly, which we know to be true, the rest of the empire has fallen at this point. Well, the non-Byzantine half. I enjoyed that aspect of it too. So it felt like something that could actually happen.
As much as I enjoyed the interplay between the dwarf and the master, there's a moment where of weakness for the wizard in the beginning, and the dwarf is overcome with worry, and he goes, "Master, are you all right?" And Vortex turns to him and he goes, "Cretinous cur, do you seek to take advantage of me during a moment of weakness?" And the dwarf then says, "Master, no, never! Please accept the apologies of this unworthy slave." In my perfect rendition of what the dwarf probably sounds like at that moment. It's stuff like that, which is it's really nice. I'm gonna come back to this line in a further tale.
Ah.
Unfortunately, that's kind of what I enjoyed most about it.
And then the story ends.
It's not that
It just
nothing
ends.
happens. Yeah, it's not that nothing happens. It's a snapshot into what has been a struggle, I guess, for a long time against these hordes of uncouth barbarians. And eventually that section of the wall falls and they have to retreat. And the dynamic between Pyranus and Peregrine will perhaps or has perhaps been further explored. I've not actually checked.
I
But
don't know.
there's
I hope so,
yeah.
because it's got some stuff in it that I like. It just annoyed me that the story ends so abruptly with, I don't know, because it just felt very brief.
It was. I wasn't that annoyed by the abrupt ending as I was by the way that the final battle was described in dialogue, in character, in universe by the wizard and his cousin or whatever that were sitting on the wall.
I think it was his nephew, wasn't it?
Something of that sort, yeah.
Or brother-in-law, or I think it was his brother-in-law.
Kin,
Yeah,
whatever, yeah.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
It's like, lo, here they come, look. They have overtaken our cavalry. Is this not the sign you are waiting for? It was, I'm being an ass, but I just, something about it didn't gel with me. So I guess I enjoyed the dynamic between the two, but not very much of the rest of the thing.
I think I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
The dynamic between the two, and then I enjoyed just the historical setting.
Right.
But that's it.
Yeah. There was also a fun bit about the way that the way the whole necromancy angle plays out was different, I guess.
It's something that I've often thought about with stories with necromancy of like, would this really be that bad to fight against?
Fair. Perhaps not the most impactful opening, but one that leaves some room for exploring the leading duo, I guess, although the dwarf's a bit of a side freak show character thing.
1.5 Men.
What? Oh, you know Charlie Sheen would do it at this point. He'd be the dwarf.
Yeah.
Oh man. Have a shit. Who'd play the wizard? Who could play the wizard? Not Ian McKellen. Would be a good wizard.
Would be a good wizard. Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson and Charlie Sheen. 1.5 Men. Wow. I would pay. Yeah, I would pay good currency to see that. Oh, get on it, Hollywood.
Oh, not Hollywood. They wouldn't. They don't mess with Mel Gibson.
Fair. What is it? Netflix? I mean, no.
It could be good.
Yeah. What's
HBO?
No, they fucking. Well, they might put Mel Gibson in blackface. You don't know.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson as Melanie.
Melanin Gibson.
Wow. Oh man, I wasn't expecting it to go this way.
No.
I like where we're at though. We should be brainstorming and pitching these. But I was thinking Paramount because they host everything Taylor Sheridan does, and Taylor Sheridan makes fun of Hollywood and California all the damn time.
Okay, so you think this should be a Taylor Sheridan project?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
That would be fucking amazing, dude.
I mean, it is historical, so, and he likes writing like pseudo historical stuff, so
it's not necessarily American history, but I'm sure he'd be able to. He'll ask Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson would do it.
Oh yeah. Oh. All right, second tale. Twilight's 4 by Phil Emery. It is a dark tale of mystery, discovery, sacrifice, and peril, featuring a party of 4 doomed souls of various skills and convictions.
Who escaped from a lunatic asylum?
Or are sent forth from a lunatic asylum.
True. It's unclear.
Yes. In the beginning of the tale, I just want to read a passage because it was real nicely done. The dawn was fragile. It was hard to tell whether the mist on the lock was light or the light mist. But it was an unfamiliar thing to the 4 passengers on the rowboat. None of them could remember the last dawn they had seen. Time is another kind of mist to the mad. The concept of madness gets mentioned a few times.
Yeah, it's like the whole point of the tale.
Yeah, the whole point, and it's different types of madness. And the question, "Are we mad?" is spoken 3 times in the beginning by one of the characters. And my note here is I mean, if you need to ask yourself that 3 times in a row, I got some bad news for you, baby.
Well, I would say the other way. The crazy people don't know they're crazy.
Fair.
And someone's like, "Oh, ha, ha, I'm crazy." They're not crazy.
They're not crazy. Yeah. Perhaps more worrisome is the stupid don't know they're stupid either.
That's also true.
Yeah, which is, some of those people drive cars. A lot of them, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. This was a dark, twisty, fun one. I think somebody hates bards. Because at one point there's a question, why the minstrel? All he does is sing. Somebody's been playing some RPGs recently, and the bard's there just egging everybody on.
See, I actually don't like this story.
Oh.
It just didn't jibe with me. It was just crazy people and lunatic asylums and essentially lightsabers, and I don't know, I didn't like it. It was written well.
Yeah. Phil's got a great, he really does the dark, unclear, planar thing really well, I think. Did this one have a magic sword? I forget.
Yeah, they had lightsabers.
Ah, there you go.
because he was literally, it had like a glowing energy beam, and he like cut through other people's swords.
Oh yeah, fair enough. I remember now.
I was like, oh, okay, so he has a lightsaber. Okay, what is happening in this story?
Madness.
Yes.
Somehow lightsabers made an appearance.
Yes. So we're 2 stories in, and we've already mentioned Thongor and Star Wars.
We're
And
good. We can end the show. That's all
and
the
we've
reference we
casted a
ever
whole
made.
movie. So
We got the leads, we got the producer.
I would like to read more of this guy's work just to see if it's like, do I just not like the story, or do I just not like his stuff? I don't know.
You read. Let me see what you thought of his stuff in Neither Beg.
Ooh, that's right. He was in that one.
Golden Devils of the Crypt. And you said it is a very great Hyborian Age style name for the story set in the aftermath of a nuclear holocaust. Speaking of Mel Gibson. I find such settings very interesting and fun to play around with and think about. What would the world look like after a nuclear apocalypse? How would society be rebuilt? Would we turn to old superstitions and magics? Would we revert to a state of pure barbarism, complete with stone tools? Phil Emery has one potential answer to these questions, and it is a rip-roaring adventure. The idea of 3 magical realms is interesting, and new to me as a way of categorizing magic. Mentions of alternate timelines or a multiverse also feature here, a tiresome trope these days, but the story is good enough that it's only a minor quibble. All in all, a good tale and setting that I hope to read more of in the future.
Yeah, I remember the magical realms thing now. So apparently I do like his writing. I just don't like the story.
Yeah, no, it's fair enough, you know. I enjoyed the concept of it. Mad people who don't really know why they're there, but they're perhaps innate skills slash madness come into play at a certain point.
Yeah, they built a D&D party out of people from a lunatic asylum, and then we're like, okay, here's your quest.
Yeah, and why the why the minstrel? All he does is sing. That will never not be funny to me.
Oh, the boarmen too, in that story, the pigmen.
Uh-huh.
I just thought of Minecraft because there's the pigmen.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was imagining pigmen from Minecraft fighting asylum escapees with lightsabers.
You know, that would be right in between Oak Island and Scrap Heap Wars on Discovery. It's one of those shows.
Yeah, strange
Like,
show.
yeah. Pigmen versus Insane Asylum inmates, ducks versus horses, stuff like that.
Yeah.
We're establishing a cable network tonight. Right. Third tale on is Noose and the Phase Gifts by Jaap Bo. Fuck. I know it's Jaap because it's a Dutch name. I don't know if it's Bukestein or Boekestein.
I would have pronounced that all wrong.
It's not Bakestein.
I was going to say Bokenstein.
Bokestein could be it, yeah. I should probably seriously look these up before we record, but
I'm just some redneck dude.
So Noose and the Phase Gifts is about ethereal underwater adventuring sorcery and a mere human employed to carry out the will of the elf types. Also magical swords.
Yes, magical swords pop up again. I thought this one was really cool. The twist was cool, but kind of telegraphed throughout the whole thing. I still really enjoyed it. You know, the going to an underwater area. It made me think of. Do you ever play the game Champions of Norath?
I've heard of it, but I've not played it. No.
It's PS2.
Olden days.
It is set in the same universe as the EverQuest MMO.
I know that one.
Yeah, so Champions of Norath, Realms of EverQuest is the full title. And in that, there's some missions where you go to the plane of water. I don't remember what they call it, but it may just be the plane of water. And you go there and you fight like these merfolk and stuff like that. And you're just like breathing underwater because of magic. So it made me think of that whole like entire part of the quest line of Norath. Norath's great if you've never played it.
It looks slightly anime from the, but I think that's just the cover of the game.
Yeah, it's not. It's like just classic. You know, like
Hack and
it's like a
slashy.
high fantasy hack and slash action RPG isometric.
All right, like Sacred and
Or the old Diablos.
Diablo as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair.
So it just made me think of that, and that's like my favorite PS2 game ever.
Okay.
So um, the nostalgic part of my brain was like, ooh, like Tail.
I didn't like this one that much.
Really?
We're misaligned once again. I enjoyed the concept of going underwater for the rescue. I enjoyed the random unknown being plucked for the quest, like the everyman, the nobody that gets
This giant quest that he doesn't want to be part of.
yeah, it's like it's heaved upon him and he sort of figures it out as he goes. So obviously this is Noose, who gets his name because he was rescued from the noose by this witch who needs him. I didn't appreciate this as an perhaps an origin tale for Noose, the fighter. I don't think it's how do I put this? Well, we're gonna have to spoil shit. So he fights off this giant crab to save this witch's brother. He's the witch's champion. The crab is the champion of the fucking King
Mer
Triton
King.
because yeah,
Yeah.
who's pissed off because Ariel was off fucking another land dweller or something. Or being, live action cast by Disney, who knows? And
Ooh.
who indeed. Mel Gibson would have something to say about that, I'm sure.
No, I'm sure he would.
um and at the end, so he gets this sword, he realizes it's this amazingly powerful sword, kills the crab, saves the brother, and at the end the witch is like, "Sword, gimme." And he's like, "No." And she's like, "What do you mean no?" Like, "I'm gonna take this sword and I'm gonna fuck off, and it's my sword now." And this was the family heirloom of the witch and her brother. And when there's this tense moment where she heaps her sorcery on him, but he takes hold of her brother and is trying to strangle him, but also she's working her magic on him, but he's strangling the brother at the same time. That didn't really jive somehow. Like, it seems to me that the witch's power level up to that point was established to be so high.
Right, because she's able to make this underwater thing where they can just breathe
They can just
for
breathe. They can just
an
go down
unlimited
in
amount of
a
time.
yeah, they can just go down in a bubble to the bottom of the sea because magic. Their father's sword is high powerful fucking magic because magic, which obviously runs in their blood. And she's like, "Gimme the sword," instead of dispensing with him because she obviously doesn't care about him. The moment is there so that he gets his freedom, and she like throws an offhanded curse on him that she's gonna be something like she's gonna be back for the sword at some point, and he's gonna be begging her to take it, something to that effect. I should probably look at this.
It's because he makes a deal with her. Was it to take the noose off of his neck?
Yeah, because that's how because she starts tightening the noose. That's it. As he's literally squeezing the life out of her brother.
And like, isn't the deal like, I'll give you back the sword when you take this off my neck?
Yeah, yeah, something like that.
And she's like, okay,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to take it right now.
No, it's gonna be later. You're gonna be sorry you wished for this. And by then, he was already fucking going.
Yeah, he's like, okay, whatever, I'm leaving.
Yeah, it was. This one was also short-ish. Yeah, because he says, "Release me from my noose, you swore." "I swore, and I will, but not today. One day I will collect the noose. Maybe when you're old and feeble, noose. Maybe when you beg for death in a torturer's dungeon, or when you're bleeding out on a battlefield. Then I'll appear and take the noose back." "I'll meet you there," he replies, his hand resting on her father's sword. His sword now. She still could have killed him then, because he'd let go of his brother by now. And she had honor for some reason. I don't
Okay,
know.
that is fair. The whole like, unless there's some sort, we don't have enough knowledge about this world for me to start retconning this. So I don't know.
True,
You're right.
true.
You're right.
It's just, yeah, it was a neat way of getting this guy off in his way in terms of, oh, one day shit's gonna hit the fan for him. That was great.
Mhm.
but the way that the story got there,
That's fair.
for me, it's the whole underwater thing was great. The crab was great. Not the crabs aren't great. Crabs are, some crabs are great. Not all crabs. Hashtag not all crabs. Yeah, let's dig myself deeper into this one.
I think for me, a lot of it was probably just me imagining champions going on, and it was a nostalgia factor probably.
Hmm.
Because even like the crab thing that he fights in Champions, you fight these like big crab things underwater. They're like, "Arr."
Is there an underwater burger joint as well?
No, the
No.
SpongeBob's not hanging around there.
No Corey Taylor singing the theme song. No.
Oh,
I can't hear you. Oh boy.
I
have not been practicing that. No.
Much to my girlfriend's annoyance, I don't like SpongeBob.
Well, I no longer watch it, and hopefully won't anytime soon.
It just confuses me.
Mm.
It's so like not bound by the laws of reality that I hate it.
And yet here you are reading Sword and Sorcery.
She said that I'm too autistic for it, and yeah, probably.
Too autistic for SpongeBob.
Like a different kind of autism.
It's a different. It's the other end of the spectrum. I see.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, the different breed of it.
Maybe not square pants. I draw the line at
Square pants.
freakishly squarish pants on an underwater sponge. Oh boy, yeah. So it, again for me, that thing felt disjointed and kind of left me scratching my head. I enjoyed the ride. It's just that moment kind of deflated the story for me.
That's fair.
Yeah. Next up, we have Yes, we have Coldwell, a strange. Yeah. Next up, we have Coldwell, A Stranger Tale by Jay Litwicki. I need to make a database of all these noises. The stranger's memory is all but a blank slate, and during the story, he starts to remember who and what he is, for better or worse.
This is our first memory loss story.
It's not the first memory
one.
Yeah, that was the first.
So this is the second one. This is the no magic swords, right?
No, lots of sorcery.
Yes. Okay.
Memory loss, no magic swords. We had 2 magic swords already, and
1 memory loss / magic sword.
Yes. So this one's about a land in which wizardry is outlawed, so naturally the people who exhibit magical qualities congregate under...
It kind of makes me think of in Dragon Age how you have like the conclaves of wizards, and then you have like the people who were like are heretics and like they're hunted down by like the church and things who like don't join the conclave, because like I assume there's probably wizards that are like controlled by the government in this, but anyone else they just wipe out.
Right.
What you thinking?
I might take this out, but they're putting stuff in the water. They're making the love potions gay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Fantasy Alex Jones is involved in this somehow.
He's the PR for the Mel Gibson 1.5 Men movie.
Yes. This is perfect.
Oh man, we're not gonna get another ARC for Swords and Sorceries ever. Or anything from anyone ever again.
They should be like, just stop talking to these jackasses, just quit. My favorite thing from this story is the concept of spellhounds, which was just fantastic. It made me think of we're going back to Star Wars here. In Star Wars Legends, pre-Disney, there was the Thrawn trilogy, the classic one in the 90s.
Yep.
And in that one, there's the Vornskers, which are these dogs that like can detect Force users. And then there's also like the Islamiri, which are those like lizards that like block the Force in areas around it. And they do that so that way they can't be hunted by the Vornskers. But spellhounds, to me, that is a Vornsker, and like, but I'd never like thought about taking that from a sci-fi plane into a fantasy plane. So I love that. Also, I don't remember where this comes up, but the number 67 does come up in it. So I was just like 6, 7. I'm sorry, I'm a teacher. I hear the brain rot constantly.
Are you still allowed to slap them, or is that frowned upon?
That would be frowned upon,
Ah.
at least in West Virginia. I don't know about other states.
In Texas, it's in the curriculum, I think.
Probably.
So yeah, I don't know where that pops up. I didn't make a note of it. But there are some really interesting descriptions in this one, and I'll read a snippet. So he finds this like ruin, and the quote is, "It stood on a man-made tor outside of the village, a malignant tower of crude stone that seemed to leach the grayness from the clouds. A lone candle-lit window glowered from the upper story, a baleful yellow eye keeping watch on the town. A scar-like remnant of a broad avenue bordered on either side by weed-choked banks of rubble led to the fuck, I fucked it up. To the circular stronghold." That was great. That is fun, not forceful, strong imagery. Later on, the hero of the story asks Talzel if his hair is a levitation spell, which was funny as fuck.
Yeah.
Can imagine a fucking pompadour. We get there's training montages. The stranger slowly gets back his memory, his mojo. There's a face off at the end with a bit of a back and forth between the hero and this summoned thing, and the lines are, "I was summoned, I was promised. The promise is broken. He who made it is no more. I will have the blood. You will have no blood." The creature was like, okay, it's fine. No, obviously not, but it was like, yeah, okay, yeah, no blood, fuck it. Yeah, there was some nice combat dialogue, and the fact that the creature was speaking it into the hero's mind made it where this could have taken place in an instant, so you didn't have that theatrical prolonged face-off where they just stand there, doing verbal cliche shit. So it was interesting. I liked it more the more I went through it, I think.
I liked the concept of the story because it made me think of Darth Revan with
Okay.
where his mind has been wiped by the enemy and he's like going through the motions and working with these people and like slowly getting pieces of his memory back. And I did have a complaint of stop saying the full names of everything constantly.
The Lynn Carter School of Writing Sword and Sorcery.
Yes, there were so many Lynn Carterisms. I was like, please stop saying the full names.
No more, you're gonna give me a concussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bit of X-Men in this one with perhaps a role reversal between Xavier and Magneto.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff happening, most of it good. So again, I liked it more the more I went through it, and it ended in a satisfying manner and sort of tied it all up neatly together. So
the main thing that kept bothering me was the Temple of the Divine Zerandis. That appears so many times.
is this the one that has the giant?
Has the what?
One of the stories has a really big paragraph with a lot of names dropped as one of the first few paragraphs. I'm wondering if it's this one.
The stranger was 3 days down from the Thousand Cairn Highway en route to the Sacred Staircase Springs at the source of Gentward, the River of Healing Waters. Blah, blah, blah. Rumors abounded in Menoth of the Sophine, the divine Zerandis, emperor of the expanses between the Grand Angron Mountains and the Eastern Curtain and the Southern Islands to the waste of the Sculpted Desert. Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
I was like,
this was it. I'm like, what
was
the
like, whoa.
fuck? Hang on, let me get a quill for this shit. It was. I'm like, there is no way in hell I'm going to remember any of that. But good on you, buddy. And that's why I liked it more the more I went on, because this had me. I read this thing 3 times and I still couldn't tell you what went on. Zerand is obviously stuck because he comes up because Temple, as you've said. But Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a lot of
it's
geography and timeline and everything all popped up
but it
into a
means
few lines.
nothing because I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah. It's one of those.
It's
It's a
he
big
throws out
world.
names, yeah, like Lynn Carter does, but he doesn't like, and just like Lynn Carter, he doesn't describe where any of these things are in relation to each other and what this looks like and why.
Yeah, it's just this emperor owns or empires. Does the emperor empire? He empires across a lot of land and
Yeah,
waged war across a very expansive bit of the world, I guess. Um, it's nice to know that this world has names for a lot of things, but good God, were those a lot of names?
yeah, I feel like it may have dipped into the issue of too much world building that they talked about in what story was it that it was in Battleborn, wasn't it? Or was it in an SRM where they talked about how you can get too much into the world building and not
It
enough
was
into
one
the
of
writing?
it was one of the editorials in SRM.
At least this guy actually published this, though. He
Yeah.
didn't go so far that he never published it.
Yes.
So good on him.
There's obviously a
But
lot going on, and taking the time to assemble that and have it make sense, because it does make sense if you read through it.
oh yeah,
He's
yeah,
going
it
like
eventually
north to south and
comes
east to
together.
west, and you kind of get a picture of it. But good Jesus, is it a lot for like the
Yeah.
second paragraph, which is half a page.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a good story. It's
This is the first one that like I think I really, really, really liked.
okay.
Because the first three I liked aspects of, but not the entire stories.
Mhm.
And then this was the first one that, like, yeah, I had some complaints with it, but I thought it was a really good story.
Right. Next up, we have The Altar of Self by Ikechukwu Henry. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that correctly, which is becoming a motif for this podcast. A cursed blade that slowly siphons away the memories of its wielder.
Magic Sword,
Yes,
memory loss.
both. This one was my favorite, with caveats, but this one was my favorite because I don't always find myself considering real life stuff when reading my escapist fantasy. And this hit doubly, first of all, because and spoilers, but this was by far my favorite tale of the bunch. And it hit so close to home because first of all, it's very reminiscent of Alzheimer's almost, where you have those moments in the disease where you can sort of realize that you're missing stuff, especially in the
Mhm.
beginning. Like you have bits and spurts of realizing that you've lost something, but you can't quite put your finger on it, which is something
And
that
then
gets
sometimes you are like, oh, I remember that. I don't remember how this thing is now.
right.
Like they know exactly what they've lost, but it's unrecoverable.
Yeah. Second of all, because this character was somebody that had a family, a wife, a child, and the first thing that gets mentioned is a drawing that he has from his little girl, which is a flower. And the picture's a bit smudged, and he knew that it was his kid's drawing. He knew that he got it, but he didn't remember the moment of getting that stuff from his kid. And that fucking throttled me because there are moments with me today realizing that there's stuff that my kid asks me, and she's like 5, right? She's been a lot around, not a lot, and she asks me
Mhm.
about stuff like, "Do you remember when?" And I'm like, "Fuck, kid, no, I do not." Like I've completely forgotten moments that are really important to her already. Um, and also the fact that I've had Alzheimer's in my family. You know, although I was kind of tiny when it happened, I was young when it happened around me, but I still remember, seeing the effects of it. Um, so
Yeah,
again, I'm not looking for real life stuff in my escapist fantasy, but this one did it in such a way that it was both a good story and was tied into the real aspects of life which you can come across. Um, It had some great imagery as well. This room stinks like it wants to bury something is one of the quotes. Also, I think this is the first time in Sword and Sorcery where I read about a uh, sword being brought out of its sheath and making no sound.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. This one was like ultra realistic on the realistic parts that it did,
The sword came free in a single breathless arc, silent from sheath to air. Whisper wind made no sound as it moved, and yet the space around it seemed to recoil.
which is actually how swords are unsheathed. They don't go shing like we do in everything. However, rule of cool.
Yes, and completely understandable, but there's another description of another character who wore robes dyed so deeply in crimson they appeared black at the folds, trimmed in gold thread that shimmered without catching light. His arms were bare to the elbow, covered in spiraling tattoos that pulsed faintly, as though ink and blood had fused into one.
It's a good image in your head.
Yes, very descriptive, very poignant, very impactful stuff.
He also employs something that a lot of the greats use, like Howard used,
Mhm.
of he uses very short sentences, choppy, short,
Clipped,
fast,
yeah.
which Sword and Sorcery uses very well, and pulp in general, but like Sword and Sorcery especially, it's used very well because it gets the point across, it moves the action quickly, it kind of helps you maintain a breakneck speed throughout the story.
Right. The caveat I had on this one was that there's a what is it? A negative epithet used to describe a lot of things.
What do you mean?
So for example, he felt it then, not hunger, not in the way a man hungers, but need. It didn't throb or pulse or glow. That would have made it easy. Instead, it waited, it invited, it offered. You have this sort of sequence used very many times throughout the tale,
That's true.
and it's a stylistic choice. It has that clipped sentence structure that you mentioned. It gives a certain air of this is what's going through the character's mind or soul in that particular moment.
Showcasing like his memory loss aspect.
Yeah, yeah. Choppy information, choppy feelings, choppy. But by the end of the tale, it becomes less a boon and more something that you, I guess, not stumble across, perhaps overused.
Yeah, like it's overused to the point that like it becomes a little bit jarring.
A little bit, yeah. That's like I'm trying because I liked it so much. I'm like, fuck. There has to be something I don't like about it. By the end, I was the moment that something was said, I'm like, oh, this is gonna go into one of those not this, not that, but the other type things. But hey, it's a small like pet peeve, I guess.
Yeah, well, whenever I got to this story and read it, I was like, oh, okay, maybe I do like this anthology. I was like, because we just had 2 stories in a row that are really good.
hmm This was good stuff, really good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then for me, we had a third one because it's the Cold Maiden's Aid by Eli Freyson.
I also love this story.
There we go. It is a Viking yarn depicting powerful oracle maidens aiding in siege warfare against what seems to be a Christian stronghold.
Yeah.
Seems to be being the operative word.
Mm-hmm. That was such a good twist.
That was
And I don't want to spoil that twist.
no, but it's a twist. Yeah, there's also there's an interesting bit where Regan, who's the like assaulting Viking, has a face-off with King Hludavicus, and it is described as a duel, a verbal duel between them, which was interesting.
It makes me think of how back in that time period they liked doing these verbal spars with each other. It was like a pastime that people had. Think of like freestyle rapping nowadays. It's like the ancient precursor to that.
Right.
Of you'd have these people saying like these like rhymelets or couplets or whatever, dissing each other.
Thy mother.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so yeah, that was great.
The essentially demigoddess was great.
Valgerd Hemmingsdottir.
You said the oracles, that was interesting stuff, like how their magic worked. The plan to storm the castle is great.
There's a discussion between the demigoddess and one of her oracles, and it's, this boil needs lancing. But the infection runs so deep and has spread so wide, what difference will one lancing make? One battle at a time, Asa, Valgerd told her. I will relieve you of your burdens for now. She fixed her cold gaze on Delen, which is the city. Tonight the city falls. Oh, and we have mail.
Indeed, we have like a historical spelling of mail too, like Maille. I was like, ooh.
Saucy indeed.
Yes. And then also I enjoyed that the demigoddess puts a stipulation on the assault, and that is that when they take the city, they're not allowed to force themselves upon the women.
Yeah.
Which is something that Vikings historically did, because Vikings were awful, horrible human beings. I don't understand why people have like hyped them up these days to be these great heroic folks. They were evil.
It's, first of all, it's because Travis Fimmel does an amazing fucking Ragnar.
That's true. The Vikings show is amazing.
He's redefined the northern accent. Like, when I found out he's Australian, I fucking died.
What? I didn't know that.
You didn't know?
No.
Travis Fimmel is the most, like, surfer bro Aussie dude you've ever seen.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's the...
Huh.
He's this, like, blonde, blue-eyed dude before, you know, he grew the beard and everything, but yeah, really, really fun checking out some interviews and stuff.
And it should be pointed out that not all Nordic people were Vikings.
No, but all Vikings were awful.
But Vikings were terrible.
Yeah.
We've mythologized them to be these heroic people fighting against the English.
Because, you know, they braided their hair and their women could divorce them and whatever. They were very...
And could fight in battles as shield maidens and...
That too. They're very evolved in terms of that, but, you know, on the other hand...
Yeah, on the other hand, they
all
were
the raping and pillaging.
And, yeah, and rapists. And...
But all the funny braids. But yeah, this one was a great Viking yarn. Loved it. Good stuff.
And I would argue in this one, the Vikings are like the lesser of the two evils.
In this case, yeah.
Which is crazy.
You'd probably be right, yeah. Also, when I first read the story, because I read through each like once and then a quick rundown to get a few more notes. In the original dialogue, Regan asks for 130,000 ounces of silver, and I only caught that on the second reading, because initially I thought it was just 130 ounces.
Oh.
And I'm like, fuck, I'll just give it to you now. Just let us go, dude. Just fuck off back to... These fuckers don't know units of measurement. Just here it is. Piss off. Ludovicus would have been a fucking hero, but yeah, that's just me being a fucking dumbass. These are the people reviewing your stories, folks. Good stories. 3 in a row. 3 good ones in a row.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, this is going to be a good anthology.
Yeah, the next one is Raid on Knortuft, which is also a Viking story by J. Benjamin Sanders Jr. It features Agneta Brigitsdottir, which is a raider on her way back from plundering, who's faced with dire scenes once arriving home.
Also called Agnetha the Red.
Agnetha the Red, yes. And by the end of this one, she is convinced that she has earned that name. This one was also interesting and fun. I only have one note for it, which is when Njord says Hamrammer, which reminded me of, you know, in Monty Python and the Holy Grail, when I think John Cleese was Lancelot, when he runs at the camera from way far away, and he keeps running, and then there's the 2 guards there, and then he runs again, and then he runs again, and then he runs again.
Yeah.
And then the combat happens, and in the middle of combat, at some point, there are some maidens somewhere, or some people, some onlookers that are like huddled together in a corner, and they go, That's what my mind went to when I read Hamramar. It's like and then the combat goes, aha, again, string schwung. Just fucking absolutely no relation. I guess England, but again, the people reviewing your stories, folks. But yeah, this one had like subterfuge and shapeshifters and naked Viking asses.
Both male and female.
Yes,
Equal opportunity.
Equal opportunity. Again, Vikings, you know. You had the cowardly, perfidious monk. Well, I guess more cowardly than perfidious. More reduced in scope than the previous one. More focused on a smaller group of folk.
Yeah, it's a story about a Viking ship that has returned back to their home port, and they have moved away from the raiding and pillaging stuff and like have became like merchants essentially. They're like merchants and mercenaries. Like they don't do the raping and the pillaging anymore. And that would
we don't do that here.
yeah. And I
Speaking
assume
of the
that
next
just because
story.
of Agnetha, I assume she's the one that has started reforming this community to not be as awful. And then it's just like a tale around that village and then out in the wilderness. It's very focused.
It's very dreary. It's very bloody.
Yeah, and I feel like this one kind of walks that good balance between like depicting Vikings as heroic, but also still showing that they're kind of terrible because they have like slaves and like, oh, we used to do raping and pillaging, but we don't anymore. And it's like, well, your society is evolving, but you're still awful.
We've not had our Viking Civil War yet. So
right.
You know, like what is it? Like Sweden and Norway have given the slaves away, but fucking Denmark. Like we gotta have a chat with them.
Their gray uniforms.
Meanwhile, Finland over there just doesn't give a shit. But yeah, this one was a more contained, more I'd hate to say tame compared to the previous one, but less like other planar godlike.
Yeah, it's less magic-y. There is a werebear, which is freaking cool.
Yes, he knows everything that's going on around him. He's a werebear.
Yeah, he's very, very aware.
Very aware.
Because like the werewolf trope has been overdone, but werebears, whenever they pop up in things, I'm like, ooh, okay.
Where?
Okay.
Werewolf. Their wolf. Huh? Their wolf. Their castle. That's one that the post, I don't know, 2000 born ones won't get. This one was also, strangely, I enjoyed the self-containment, I guess. It's a good one, and it's one of those good one and done ones. Like, even if I don't want to read, and it's not that I don't want to read, but if I were to not read anything from this, I've gotten a pretty good idea of everything that happens there in a very effective manner.
You know, if they expand the world with another story, cool, I'll read it. If they don't, this was a satisfying, just self-contained story.
Yeah, one of those nice monster of the week type things, as they said in Old Supernatural. Good fun stuff. The next story is Atonement for Shattered Eye by Frank Savieliev, which is the way I'm choosing to pronounce that, which is a German-Russian author. It is an African slanted tale revolving around precious gems and dueling callouts. This had no right to go as hard as it did.
Yeah, when it first started, I was like, I don't know about this. And then the longer it went along, I was like, oh, this is fun. This is a fun romp.
And then the slave girl flicked his manhood and compared it to an elephant trunk and said something about eating elephant. And if it is elephant you're going to eat, it's not going to be trunk. And I'm like, yep, we're good. I'm definitely the audience for this one.
Yeah, this one definitely falls more in line of the more crude sword and sorcery.
But it doesn't cross the line into stuff like Lorelei, which is just out of this freaking world.
It's twice we mentioned that. Yeah, body and uncouth dialogue is how I describe this one.
And so in this culture that they showcase, apparently people's hair is like their badge of honor type of thing. And whenever you defeat them in a duel, you cut their locks off and then you hang them upon your belt, which I thought was really cool. I mean, that's a cool idea, and it all evolves around this zebra knight, as they call him, because he has zebra striped armor. And does he ride a zebra, or is it a horse painted like a zebra?
He has a zebra which pulls his chariot along.
Okay, I couldn't remember which.
Yeah.
Which in the pre-show I mentioned that this makes me think of your barbarians of Lemuria, zebra.
Yeah, the little parvulusi. I still don't know the plural of that word. I doubt anyone does.
It's Lynn Carter's world. It doesn't matter.
It's, well, yeah, because he didn't have horses in that one because they hadn't evolved, and the guys at was Simon Washburn who did Barbarians of Lemuria had to invent a horse. So he was like,
So zebras.
yeah, zebra.
So I like that whole idea of it, and yeah, there's that back and forth between the main chick's slave girl and the zebra knight, and like their sexual bantering.
Well, she's sexual bantering. He's avoiding her, basically.
That's true. Yes, he's like, okay, she is attractive. However, the queen here already hates me, so maybe we shouldn't do this.
I better not boink the slave girl.
I also like that the zebra knight travels on a chariot. I thought that was interesting.
That's more of a, I mean, not more of a, it's a sword and sandal thing that
Yeah.
I was not expecting in this particular African type, I'm assuming, setting.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because you have like the Egyptians used chariots.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's very much like taking this African ideal of history and prehistory and merging it with the sword and sorcery type stuff into.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, the whole story kicks off with he won this duel against the queen, and in doing so, he accidentally broke the gemstone that is on her amulet, and it is this like uber mega rare thing that he has to go on a quest to go retrieve another one. In order to do so, you have to kill these weird rock creature things that have a third eye that is the gemstone.
Insects.
But are they insects?
Yes, the rock eaters are fucking insects. I don't know how that works. Usually I think of something stronger to feast on rocks, but yes, bugs. We've got sword and sorcery and bugs.
And he goes on this mission to do that. He eventually meets up with a woman who is like, look, if you don't follow me and do this stuff, you're going to get yourself killed or worse. And like, look, I'll help you out. We'll go get the thing. This is a terrible idea, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole story, she's trying to convince him to like abandon this quest.
Yes. The woman's name was Rasia, and the tribe she belonged to ventured often into the ancient mines to pick gems for adornment and trade. My comment is, are we sure she's not just invading neighboring nations for their resources and easy sea access? Because her name sure sounds like it.
Yeah. And I assume that these mountains would be similar to like how in like South Africa you have like the diamond mines.
Mm-hmm.
In my brain, I was picturing this was South Africa in prehistoric times.
And the zebra knight was Elon. The zebra's name was actually Tesla.
Yeah, that was the chariot.
Yeah, it's totally fucking eco-friendly. Once you extract the diamonds from the mines.
Well, you see, they're extracting the diamonds from the insects rather than from the mine.
Fair, so it's all bio and shit. It's biofuel.
Yeah. Now, PETA would be very upset by that, though.
But also, fuck PETA.
Correct.
There's also a very interesting thing about Okporo, which is the zebra knight's name, is that he has a mural painted on his chariot of things he's slain. And he keeps his little brush and his little pigments and his little box and his little chariot. And every time he kills something, he stops and paints or every time he kills something new, he stops to like paint it on the chariot, which was this guy's chariot must look like one of those like extravagant Chip Foose redesigns. Like this is a fucking hot rod lowrider chariot with like spikes on its wheels, and like it's a great effect to think about because he's like, I'm gonna put it between this animal and this animal, and it's like a lion and a fire breathing snake or something like that.
Yeah, it makes me think of like samurai, where samurai would like have like they would paint and things too. It kind of made me think of that, but then it also reminded me of like World War II plain nose art.
Oh yeah, right. And
So it's interesting, like
nose art and
both of
pinups.
these things together.
Yeah, yeah. It was a really fun choice.
There's a specific page that I'm looking for here. Maybe it's 187. I can't read my own handwriting, so no.
Are you sure you're a teacher and not a doctor?
Nah, I'm not that smart.
You'd be surprised.
That is fair. Is it like 207? He has something in here that,
Looks like an elephant trunk.
well, it is related, I guess. But he has something to the effect of, I don't know why I wrote this. I wrote the words fight, fuck, protect, and I don't know why.
It's the ending. I wrote that too. It's at the very end. It's page 178. No, sorry. That's the previous story. Okay.
I just found it. Yeah. All he wanted was time alone away from these obsessive women, whether they wanted to fight him, fuck him, or protect him. Whatever they were up to, their fickle nature brought nothing but trouble, and he'd had enough trouble for a while.
Right.
Which was a great ending to a tale.
My note is so all he wanted was time alone away from these obsessive women, whether they wanted to fight him, fuck him, or protect him. And I said, that's not three separate women. That's one woman across 3 minutes of familial interaction. Like, that is a single ass woman across perhaps a 5-minute span of time.
Yes.
And any one woman on Earth has been through those 3 phases within those 5 minutes. I can promise you. This is not a bad comment.
No, it's just facts.
Yeah. Sometimes it do be like that.
Yeah, I was so confused looking at my note. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
I made the same note. There's also so you said the woman Rasia or we'll just call her Russia.
The woman named Russia.
The woman named Russia. Her friends call her USSR, the ones who've known her since childhood. She's like, you now have what you sought, and you intend to carry it all the way home? Of course. What else am I supposed to do with it? And my note is, what kind of question is that?
Yeah. And she's like, oh, this is a terrible, dangerous thing, and this and that. And he's like, look, I don't care. I got to do the quest, because if not, then my ass is grass.
The chick has me by the balls. Literally, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's this is it's a spoiler if I do it, I think, or a bigger one than what we've done so far. This is where the "Hey, master, no, never" the line from the first one comes in, because he's like, "What am I supposed to tell my Regis now?" After the guy comes in and the bauble gets, this is where my mind went to the first one, like, no, accept the apologies of this unworthy slave. And I'm like, hey, I'm referencing the same anthology in the further tale.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Yeah, this was surprisingly good.
Yeah, way better than I thought it had any potential to be.
Yeah, compared to the start of because the tone was very familiar, very modern or contemporary, I guess. But then it went good places.
Mm-hmm. And I would read more Tales of the Zebra Knight.
Yes, it is. It is a really fun concept.
But it also works well enough on its own that, like, you don't need more Tales of the Zebra Knight if they never exist.
It's an interesting snapshot, I guess, of this guy's career. Also, I guess I'm what is it? Fuck. Oh, words. God damn you, words. There's a good.
Speaking of dementia,
Yes. What am I doing here? Is this my basement? Fuck. Why are my grandmother's bones in a trunk next to me? I was gonna say I am justified in calling this woman Russia because the author is German Russian.
oh,
So
you forgot the word justified.
yes, I completely glossed over the word justified. That is the level I'm operating right now. The next tale is by the editor, David A. Riley, and it is Vampires in Morat, a place where vampires are outlawed, so it's only natural that gangs of vampires run the city from the shadows.
Yeah, this one blended two very awesome things together for me. It was like a pulp mafia noir setting, and then also sword and sorcery, and it was like, there's no way this is going to work, and then it worked brilliantly. It was like dumb in the best way possible.
I hadn't made the mafia connection until now, and
It's the vampire mafia.
it is the vampire mafia. Yeah, you can imagine these guys like, leave the garlic, take the blood vial.
Fedoras up.
Yeah, fuck off, fuck.
With their crossbows like Tommy guns.
Silver bullets. Look how they massacred my boy. Oh,
I picked up on it immediately in the whole story.
Man.
These guys were Italian vampires.
Oh boy. Yeah, I had this. I have to read it again now.
Yeah, please read it again with the mafia in mind.
With the mafia.
It's
good God, that's awesome.
So I want more stories about the vampire mafia. I don't care about the main character of this tale. I want more stories set in Morat.
That's my only complaint here. Like, and the main character had some good moments.
Oh yeah, he's not like a bad main character.
Yeah, shit happens between these gangs. They're basically killing through the town too quickly because there's a lot of them. The main character, whose name is Gundrel Gunardiel, he asks about, all right, so vampires are outlawed, so how many vampires are there? And the one of the vampire characters goes, well, there's these guys over there and these guys over here, and probably like 300 or something. He's like, what, 300 other fucking vampires? What the shit? How does that make sense? The taverns pay protection money to various. Now I fucking see it. It's obvious.
Yeah, I don't know how you didn't pick up on this.
It's obviously the fucking. I don't know. It's fucking no sleep, man. Because he's like, you were paid to keep this tavern safe. He glanced at the bodies sprawled about the room, their blood still glistening on the filthy floor. You failed.
Yeah. And then
fun.
It reminded me of, I don't remember which Conan story it is, but there's the one where the innkeeper, he lets the cannibals from like Zimbabwe or whatever come into the rooms and take the people outside of town and massacre them. That's what this story reminded me of, because the vampires have a deal with this innkeeper of, if the travelers come to the inn, we just eat them.
Free food.
We just drain their blood. Yeah. So I like that.
This giant bloodbath happens at the tavern, and one of the vampires who's on the losing end of this turf war is there speaking to the main character, and they're threatening each other, and the innkeeper pops in and he goes, gentlemen, still shaking. The landlord stepped between them, waving his hands in dismay. Let's not start a bloodbath. Why can't we work together? And I'm like, bro, look around you.
Bloodbath already happened.
Yeah, after the fucking bodies are sprawled everywhere. Like, let's not make this into a big thing. It is a big thing, you tit.
This guy's gang just got massacred. The St. Valentine's Day massacre just happened.
Yeah, they got silvered to death. Oh. And the absolute fucking highlight of this tale is when they use a body to make the vampires jump at it. They use a body as bait, like alive.
Yeah. They cut the guy open from groin to neck and toss him towards them, and the blood just brings all the young vampires to it so they can just slaughter them.
The ones that are not what's it called? They don't have the discipline to like not do
Yeah.
that. Yeah, so
and it's referenced earlier in the story that the vampires, like, they keep culling the older ones off, so you have these young ones because there's too many vampires, and the main guy, the Don, he doesn't want these like older vampires to rival him.
Yeah, because they get smart as they grow older, so they're dangerous. So you just get new ones.
Yeah, he just wants a bunch of thugs with crossbows.
After this takes place, the main character lops the head off of this body, and then the vampire looks at the body and he's like, "Well, at least we can use his body to draw more of Meridian's men when we go inside. He doesn't need his head for that." And they pick him up and they take him on, and it's like, fucking what? Say that again. Leave the head. Take the rest of the body. Yeah, this again. The main complaint with this one is I enjoyed the vampires so much. I'm sad to see the main character go to someplace else and have a new adventure when this city is so fucking exciting.
Yeah. I don't want more adventures of this guy. I want more adventures in Moffat or Marat, whatever. Yeah, I can't read my own writing.
That's fine.
Yeah, it was great. Just vampire mafia doing their thing.
Oh man, imagine how much better the Mafia games would have been if they were vampires.
But yeah, I really enjoy like pulp crime stuff. I'm usually not huge on like mafia related things, but this was really good.
Yeah, I'm not big on vampires myself, but this was a maybe it's a trope, maybe, I don't know, but the vampires eating shit too fast thing, and then having to keep themselves in check, and then this becoming an inside like turmoil that brings the whole thing down is something that was very interesting to see, and it was excitingly done. Like, you cared about these former people, currently immortals, and their antics. It was it was exciting. It was nice.
But it's like you're rooting for these vampires, but they're not good guys. You know this. They're just as bad as the other vampires.
Yeah. This is speaking of Taylor Sheridan, it's the Yellowstone. Like, those people do horrible things, and yet Kevin Costner's my guy, you know?
Right. Like, you still gotta root for him.
He just wants his like 100,000 acres or however much he has over there. Like, why can't they just leave the millionaire live in peace? The like broke ass millionaire. Why can't they just get off his turf? This was a really fun romp, and not one of those, again, overtly haha jokey pokey ones.
No,
the serious mean of the conflict lends more, humor to the whole thing somehow.
Yeah, it's like some of those movies that people have where like it's some sort of like ridiculous premise that the people play it straight, and then it becomes like a classic.
It's Naked Gun.
Yeah.
It's Leslie Nielsen was playing all of the vampire roles in this one.
Yes, we just keep casting stuff. I mean, we gotta
fucking. What are you? Can you patent these so they don't accidentally do them and we miss out on the big money? All right. The next one is Where Dwell the Forgotten Men by Jeffrey A. Sargent, which is actually the way we spell sergeant in Romanian, only we call it sergent. That's how we spell sergeant. It's just one letter difference.
Well, many people in the United States spell it that way because they can't spell.
Yeah, but that's different. Like, don't worry, we have Romanian people who can't spell Romanian as well. It's not a purely American thing. Don't be so cocky.
It's okay. I would say the Forgotten Men. I mean, it's in the title that there's some memory loss here. I mean,
in this case, it's more of a like worldwide loss of knowledge.
Yes,
than actual memory. This is about Jade, a warrior who's fleeing from the consequences of her past actions. It features old wizards, ancient races of men, and no small amount of dread.
She is basically pulling a Conan here, where she slept with the king's wife or whatever, or the princess. Well, she slept with a princess, and so then old boy is angry and sending out the Imperial Guard after her, and she's like, "Oh shit."
and she gets to face the guards eventually, and she's also had a bit of a tryst.
It's more than a fling, but like her and the guard captain have a history.
And she goes, "Why do they want me back?" Jade asked. "You will be judged and executed." Jade bit back her anger. "It wasn't a crime. It was gay. I mean, it was their wedding day." That was my mind at that line. The captain quickly composed himself. "You shamed the bridegroom, and he will not be pacified until he has your head to present to the princess."
I mean, to be fair, I think the prince here is totally in the right of like he got cucked on his wedding day.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't get much worse than that.
No.
It probably gets
No.
worse. The princess might also have dementia, but
True.
you know, maybe that's why. Seeing as this is a recurring theme of memory loss, maybe she thought, "Here we go, fucking headcanoning this one." Yeah, the Ultuk are the forgotten men, which are kind of Neanderthal-y type humanoids.
Yeah, I just consider them like the beastmen from like Conan. That's kind of how I picture them. Yeah, and we've got, of course, a classic wizard tower. Wizards love their towers. We've got the wizard tower is also like a ruin of this ancient Oltec civilization that is being maintained by the wizard, but the Oltecs have like devolved into beastmen, which is also a theme in Howard's work. You had the Atlanteans kind of devolve into like lesser people. The combat in this is really good.
It is hard hitting, and there's a lot of it as well.
I would say most of the story is action based.
Yeah, there's a lot of face-offs that actually have steel showing, as opposed to the vampires one, which came before, which also has a lot of combat, but then also a lot of setup and conversation and like more mellow
Well,
bits.
and that one, the combat's not very melee based. It's a lot of like they're doing drive-bys with crossbows.
Fuck's sake. How have I not? I would have had so much time to think about so many notes and so many lines and so many fucking mobster films. Maybe next time. Hey, David, please write another one of these so that I can flex my cinematic knowledge and put words into vampires' mouths. Good. Yeah. Okay, back to the Forgotten Men. I forget how this one ends. Oh no, I remember. Okay.
There's like a monster thing that she fights. And
so the embodiment of a god that she fights because these men have lost their they're the Ents. They've lost their Ent wives. Just slightly more fucking feral and monstrous.
The guards that capture her are possessed by the wizard. So she has to battle a monster and possessed guardsman and the wizard.
Yeah, also the sorcery in this one is very LARP based. You know how they have those little like sacks of bullshit in LARPs? It's like a tiny sack and it says fireball on it. So then when you throw it on someone and you hit him, he has to act like it's a fireball. The wizard just pops fucking vials on the floor and then something else comes out of each one.
He's not so much a wizard as he is a chemist.
He's a fucking right. It's the fucking mad chemist. And we have madness in this one now. But yeah, that was like, it's a very Batman like poof and then smoke on the floor.
He's just carrying a bunch of potions on his belt.
Yeah.
Rather than
fucking
casting
tool belt
magic.
with pockets.
He's got the Batman utility belt. Yeah.
I'm sure somebody killed his parents to get him into that position.
Oh, well, he probably did himself. I mean, he's a wizard, so.
There, mad chemist. He probably poofed him to death with one of those concoctions.
He's like Batman who laughs.
Right. And you know, there's a medieval slant to that whole thing, so this fits. This is there.
You know what we're gonna have to review? That just reminded me. DC has either came out with recently or is going to come out with Batman the Barbarian.
Wow. Written by whom?
Un momento, por favor. It was for like their Elseworlds line.
Delayed.
It was delayed, yes. Did it ever come out? Is it dead?
I don't think it came out.
No.
Seen articles indicating it's canceled. Womp womp.
This was such a cool idea. He looks like Dark Wolf.
He looks like Darkwolf. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
No, that
And
sucks.
it was, yeah, it's in the like Gotham by Gaslight and Superman Red Sun lines, which were both of them insane.
Yeah.
Well, now you made me sad. I didn't even know this was coming out, and now it's canceled.
I thought it was already out by now because I hadn't thought about it in 2 years.
It's dead. I didn't even know it was sick. Fucking shout out to Norm. Where did we get to Batman the Barbarian from? The Forgotten Men, possessed chemist, mad chemist, Batman. But anyway, what there is this story, which was also interesting in several exciting ways.
Yeah.
And yeah, Jeffrey A. Sargent, Where Dwell the Forgotten Men.
And then we get to the final story. This one by Adrian Cole, right?
Yes, The Stone Knights.
And my first note is memory loss? Again? This would be Joe Biden's favorite book if he could remember he read it.
Oh, man. He probably thinks his pen is a magic sword as well, so...
You mean the auto pen?
Yeah.
It is magical.
It is magical. Joe Biden actually ghost edited this anthology. And by that, I mean Joe Biden's ghost edited this. Oh, boy.
Oh.
So, Adrian Cole, yeah?
Yep. One of the big names of the genre that's still around.
Yeah, and still pumping these out on the constant. This was an on-brand yarn for Cole, I felt. It featured his trademark heavy atmosphere and ancient powers and heroes on a journey of discovery. Also the sea and magical swords.
Yes, so this one has memory loss and magic swords.
Yes.
I feel like this has to be a theme for the anthology.
Does it? It doesn't say this in the intro, right? We're not...
No, I don't think so.
There's no mention of a theme, I don't think.
But if there is, I'm an idiot.
It's just a mixture of new names and the return of some longtime favorites, and then it goes into the authors.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything about that. 6 of the stories are memory loss and or magic swords.
Okay, so that's more one over half. I'll remember to ask David if I don't forget.
Well, maybe that would be on par with this anthology.
I'll draw a magical sword on my phone so I don't forget to ask him. Yeah, the second paragraph of this one is, he burst from the meshes of the nightmare like a drowning sailor rising from the clutching waves of a sea tempest, gasping for breath, tumbling sideways against a rugged boulder. So it took all but 2 paragraphs for Adrian Cole to mention the sea, which he's really good at, again, I think. I think the book I'm reading, which is Place Among the Fallen, debuts with the sea.
Does it contain memory loss or a magic sword?
I think there might be memory loss. I'm not that far into it.
But you can't remember.
Listen, there's a lightning imbued sword on the cover, so I'm gonna say yes.
That's
And
fair.
there's another tale of his that I've read, which is like this: a hero who travels to an underwater cave and is given a sword by the king under the thing, and he goes to rescue a village from this villain that's... fuck, my brain's mush. But again, Adrian Cole, magical sword, and also sea. That is just the 2 that I have in my mind right now.
I know he's also written some, like a continuation of Henry Kuttner's Elac of Atlantis.
Yeah, and they're
He's
by Parallel Universe Publications as well.
I think I have in the Heroes of Atlantis and Lemuria thing, or perhaps the Mighty Warriors anthology. One of those 2, I think, has some Elac of Atlantis stories.
The story I was talking about is in Daggers and Dark Powers by Rockwantour Press, and it's called Creatures of the Deeper Earth by Adrian Cole. And I opened with, I just did a written review on it, and I said, I've got 2 Adrian Cole books I'm currently reading through. Is it me, or did the sea really do a number on the dude? It seems that much of his stuff happens in or around a large body of water that is, generally speaking, even more dangerous than it might seem.
Let me look at Adrian Cole's backstory here. His page of stories is just so long.
It just keeps going.
Yeah, you've got the Dreamlord Saga, the Omeron Saga, the Star Requiem Saga, the Voidal Saga, Elac of Atlantis, Nick Nightmare, a bunch of other novels,
chapbooks, other collections, and then other short fiction, and it's a massive list of those.
That one alone's longer than an elephant's trunk.
Oh, he grew up in Plymouth, Devon. That's a port city.
Ah, there you go.
Yes. Anyway, Swords and Sorceries.
Makes sense now. One larger note that I have on this one. Didn't this hero learn that bad people reside in the below, the underworld, the nether regions, while the good guys generally hail from above? Is he that unaware of fantasy literature symbolism that he really thinks the spider-like wizard who feeds a demon to a sword is going to save the fucking world? But, in his defense, he had amnesia.
The way that they put the demon into the sword is really cool, because it's like he doesn't trust the wizard enough to give the sword over. The wizard just summons a demon for him to slay, and when he slays it, it goes into the sword. I thought it was like, oh, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, the sword feeds on the thing, basically.
Which is our second sword that's hungry in
Yes.
this anthology.
This is, again, one of those hero learning his true potential, discovering his actual worth after, basically remembering nothing.
Mm-hmm. Has a great twist at the end.
This is also one of the lengthier ones. It starts off strong. It has like a really in media res opening, and then it mellows out a bit, and then it slowly builds and picks up again near the end.
Yep, it has this great climax. But then for me, the ending kind of, the very end. I was like, really? That's it? That's what they're doing now?
Yeah, I can understand that.
I was like, we went through all of this just to
leave everything as it was. It leaves everything as it was for the world, which is a good thing.
Yeah, but
because anything else would have meant bad shit. So yeah, I guess the world doesn't perceive anything changing, but the fact that the status quo is restored is a good thing. So I get what you're saying. It's a strange thing to not lead with, but end with.
That the status quo is the best thing here. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I just disagree with that on like a fundamental level, and that's not anything to do with the story. It's just like, think of like modern politics. Like everybody, like some politicians just want to maintain the status quo, and I'm like, the status quo sucks.
You suck. You Kurt Angle's entrance music suck.
Yeah.
Which is another wrestling reference you're not gonna get, but
nope, no idea. I think that this is an overall good anthology that people should read if they are big fans of Sword and Sorcery. If you are not a big fan of Sword and Sorcery and you want to get into it, I don't think this is the thing to get. You want something more traditional, because there's lots of strange things that happen in this one.
All of the strange things that happen are good, I feel.
They are, for the most part, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it had the strongest opening, perhaps.
No, and if you do read it, you got to get through the first little bit of it. Mm-hmm. To get into the real like meat and potatoes of the anthology.
Right.
But I'm just saying, like, if you're going in like, oh, I've heard about Sword and Sorcery, I want to kind of get into it. I don't think this is the place for it, because there's a lot of not normal Sword and Sorcery here. The vampire story, that's not normal Sword and Sorcery. The Stone Knights feels much more like high fantasy-ish to me.
Yeah, Adrian Cole's stuff generally, even the stuff that gets featured in the Sword and Sorcery, leans more into like powerful eldritch, powerful spells, powerful fantasy elements. I wouldn't say it steps out of the realms of Sword and Sorcery, but it skirts real close to it.
Pushes the boundaries
most of the time.
Yeah. The Zebra Knight one, that's not really Sword and Sorcery. That's like Sword and Sandal.
Yeah.
The two Viking ones, not really Sword and Sorcery. They're Viking stories. I mean, they are Sword and Sorcery, don't get me wrong, but like...
Yeah, I guess what you're saying is because they're pseudo-historical.
Right, yes. And then you've got the one with the Emperor, the late Emperor. That's a pseudo-historical Roman one.
Yeah.
The Twilight's Ford, that's not a typical Sword and Sorcery tale.
So you're leaning more into the classical Howard style of pseudo-historical but secondary world type thing.
Right, like pseudo prehistory rather than pseudo history.
Right. I get what you're saying.
The Coldwell one, that one, there's too many wizards. You know what I mean? Like there's too much magic to be like a normal Sword and Sorcery. It's not like high fantasy. I'm not saying that, but in a normal Sword and Sorcery tale, you don't typically have like.
That one's like sorcery versus sorcery.
The Altar of Self.
Yeah,
fairly,
yeah,
but like
that's in there.
Noose in the Phase Gifts leans a little more high fantasy-ish. I feel like just because of like how much her magic.
The power, the overt power.
Yeah,
So you're more into like the ritualistic cultist behavior when it comes to sorcery, with like maybe a big thing summoned at the end type fare, with the
yeah,
barbarian traipsing
yeah,
the known land, or like the lone hero or group or whatever. It being grounded until
yeah. It could be a group. It could be a hero
yeah. It being grounded until a
until it's
point
not.
where okay. I get it. I get it.
This ain't your grandpa's sword and sorcery.
If your grandpa still remembers sword and sorcery.
Well, have him read this. He won't remember any of it either. Like I'm saying, I think if you're someone who maybe has only read like a little snippet of Sword and Sorcery and you want to get more into it, I don't think this is the way to go necessarily. But if you're someone that has read all of the classic stuff like Kull and Conan and like, I don't know, like Red Sonja and what's his face, the Wagner, Carl, isn't that Carl Edward Wagner? Is it Kane? Is that his name?
Yeah, Kane.
Yeah, Kane. Um, Things of that nature. If you've read all of that type of stuff, yeah, read this because this is expanding your horizons of what could be sword and sorcery.
Yeah, I think this is more. There's only so many ways you can reinvent the wheel, which is none.
Yes.
It's still fucking round. It still spins. But this is more of the like genre blending stuff that's appearing today.
Yeah, and I think that's a good thing
Mhm.
because it is expanding the genre, and pulp has always been known to blend genres. That's kind of the point.
Right. Yeah, because you've got, even when you talk about the different type of villains, you can have like Lovecraftian cosmic horrors, or you can have snake cults, and you can have whatever genies of the desert type things, and bugs. Apparently, lots of fucking bugs.
But also, I don't know why you would start on issue 12 of this series anyway.
Fair. Yeah, the first one also has an Adrian Cole story, which I read the first issue. It was a while ago. I don't remember much from it. It was before we basically got back into, or right around the time that we were reading our first Thong Wars. So like 2 years ago. But yeah, there are obviously 12 issues of this anthology out already. So there's plenty to choose from. You could even go by like author name if you find something that you've read before and you catch their names anywhere in any of these volumes. Judging by the 12th one, you could probably go back and read through the others. We should probably do that at some point as well, but with the amount of stuff we're setting for ourselves here, I need to get my kids up for adoption.
Yeah, that's the problem of pulp. There is a never-ending amount of it.
Which is not bad, especially if it's this good.
Yes.
I guess. Because there's shit out there, I'm pretty sure.
It's called romantasy. That's what the shit's called.
I've seen AI books with AI blurbs. Like there's zero fucking effort there.
There's also the first 3 Thongor novels.
That too. There will always be those.
There's always been bad books.
Yes.
There will always be bad books. This is a good book.
Good anthology, yeah. It's a hefty one as well.
Yeah, you definitely get your money's worth for it. I mean, there's a bunch of stories in there.
It's a good amount of reading in this one, yeah. So yeah, definitely check this one out. It is exciting in various ways. The fact that it's so varied would, even if you've not read that much sword and sorcery and you're coming in from adjacent genres, you might have a good time reading this because it's so varied.
I see what you're saying.
So if you're coming at it from pulps or from higher fantasy, or from like adventure style prose, and you want to lean into more,
or like pseudo historical type stories.
Right. Hell, if you're into Vikings, there's 2 great Viking stories in this one.
Yeah.
So
yeah, if that's the only things you read out of this, you'd still have a great time.
That's the reverse of that, I guess, if I were to think
fair.
about it that way. But yeah, anyway, I don't think you're gonna regret reading this. There's fun stuff here. Swords and Sorceries 12 coming out May 1st, which will probably be in a couple days from this going live.
Yeah.
To be honest, depending on how fast I can put it together. All right, that's about all the nonsense we have time for today. We hope to have you here next time. If you want to keep up with the blog and the content we post every week, you'll find all relevant links in the description below. Don't hesitate to reach out and tell us how wrong we are or what we should look at next. Thanks for listening in, and have as nice a day as you deserve.